So Infinite Warfare has been out for 3 days now, and we've all had a chance to get hands-on with Zombies in Spaceland. So in this video I'm going to talk about all the things that Zombies in Spaceland gets right, and sometimes compare it to Treyarch Zombies, but not a lot, because obviously they're made by two different companies. They have both different ideas about what should be done, but still, let's talk about some of the things that Zombies in Spaceland actually got right. So the first thing they got right is the characters. Each character has an individual kind of story to them, and each character has their own personality, their own quick whips, and their own voice lines for certain scenarios, which is really cool. They got different celebrities in to do them again. We have, I'm not sure who they all are, but we have Seth Green, who voices the Poindexter, who actually does the voice of people like Chris Griffin in Family Guy. So I think it's cool that they're expanding, and they're actually getting people from comedic shows in to voice some of their characters. And when these characters are put on the map, they can really add a certain life to them, and I really think giving them things like custom melee animations is really cool, because it just gives them a bit more individuality. You know, you got Poindexter who slaps, and Valet Girl who like jabs with the spoon. The rapper's got knuckle dusters, and the jock, who's I think he's called AJ, who uses a bottle, which is really cool, you know. And then obviously we've got David Hasselhoff, who's in the map, which is a really cool addition, because it's all to do with the 80s and stuff, which is another thing we'll get onto later. But David Hasselhoff being in the map is really, really cool. Nice little kind of nod to the 80s and to Knight Rider and Baywatch and all the shows that he was in. And then obviously you got Willard Wyler, who's done by, I can't remember his name, but he plays Pee-wee in that Pee-wee's Big Adventure show. But he's an interesting character. I think he's got kind of an evil side to him, obviously, because he put them in the film. But he's got like an undertoned evil side. So like, if you looked at him, you'd be like, oh, he seems nice, but there could be something spooky going on with him, like even if he hadn't have teleported them into the film. But still, the characters in this mode are really, really cool, and they have a certain depth to them and a certain individuality, which I think Infinity Ward really nailed with that. So like I said, the second thing they got right was the setting, which is the 1980s, which is where the kind of genre for horror and zombie films kind of spawned. But they didn't go in a kind of Call of the Dead kind of direction where they were shooting a zombie film. They actually just took it to a theme park, and they made it so fun and just so different to everything we've ever seen before. So the 80s was such a clever thing to do, because the 80s was a fun time, and because of that they could bring in people like Hasselhoff, and they could have all these stereotypical like Poindexter and Jock stereotypes in the map. So the 80s was such a fresh idea and something new that the zombies community really likes, because it's just fun. It's just something that you can jump in, and it's visually pleasing, it's like mentally pleasing. It's just something that's really cool, and such a cool direction they've took zombies in. The story is the third thing they got right, because with Treyarch Zombies, we have other dimensions, we have summoning keys, we have apothecons, we have keepers, we have race wars, we have ciphers that we need to understand and decipher to get the story. But with Infinity Ward Zombies, it's much simpler, you know. You've got 4 actors who go to an audition. Before the audition, the director says, let's watch a film, one of my films, to get you in the mood for the audition. As soon as he puts film on, he goes sacrifice them, they get sucked into the film, and then there they are. They're the characters that they were auditioning for, but in a zombie apocalypse. That's so easy to follow. I'm not saying the Treyarch Zombies one was bad, but it's so much easier to follow when it's just something simple like that. Obviously, we don't know why Willard Wyler's done it, we don't know his motives, and we do have ciphers in the map, but still, the bulk of the story from the cutscene is so simple to follow. If you take that opening cutscene from Zombies in Spaceland and compare it to something like the opening cutscene to Revelations, there's no comparison. Obviously, you watch Revelations, you have to know what's gone on in all the other maps and all the ciphers to understand who the people are, what they're doing, what the objects are they're holding. But you watch the Zombies in Spaceland one, and you're like, that's easy. Yeah, I can follow that. So the story is simple, it's followable, and it's not hidden in ciphers and Easter eggs, which is quite nice for a change. The next thing they nailed was the colours and the theme consistency. So, like I said, the theme was the 1980s, and because of that, they've put David Hasselhoff in the map, who plays music, and it's not just any music, it's 80s specific music. So you've got things like REM, you know, It's the End of the World as We Know It, or Tainted Love, things that were big in the 80s but not so big now. And then you have the bright colours of all the rides and all the zombies and all the guns, and the even like the Spaceland sign, it's all pink and it's all neon, and it's all so 80s. And the zombies costumes, you know, they got leg warmers, they got ponytails, and you know, cuffs on them that are all fluffy. It's just so cool. Even the stereotypes are typically 1980s, like the jock and the rapper who's trying to make it big, the valet girl who's working there over the summer just to get a few bucks, and the Poindexter who doesn't do anything because he's a nerd. And it's just so cool just to see how much little things they've put into this map to keep it as like the 1980s. Like when you're in that map, you feel completely immersed in that time era, because there's not one thing, obviously except for the weapons, but like disregard that, there's not one thing that you could look at and be like, oh, that doesn't really belong in the 1980s. You know, they could have put in, what could they have put in? Just something silly like a laptop or something, but they didn't. They put in the old cathode ray tube TVs and the old cathode ray tube. Even Neil's head is like a CRT monitor, and even things like the arcade. Like, arcades are dying now, so they put in a proper 90s 80s arcade with a dance floor in the middle and a disco ball for things that just don't happen in the 2010s anymore. So the theme consistency and the amount of detail and work that Infinity Ward have put into this mode to make you immersed in the 1980s and for you to stay immersed in that 1980s era and setting is really, really nice. And that's so refreshing for a zombies map, because we're so used to dull tones like greens and greys and browns and blacks. So the neon pinks and the bright yellows are really, really nice to see in a zombies map. Now, I'm going to open this one by saying something that's going to be controversial. Zombies in Spaceland does Easter eggs how Revelation should have done Easter eggs. And now I know I might get a lot of hate for that, but still, Zombies in Spaceland, it took us 3 days to complete the Easter egg, or 2 days. It might have been solved yesterday at the time of recording this. It took us 2 days to solve the Easter egg, fair enough. We don't know if there's a cutscene, but still, we have tiny little other Easter eggs that we're still finding out. Like, we've figured out how to build 3 of the 4 wonder weapons at the time of creating this. We haven't built the face melter yet. But then you've got the little ones, like if you look in David Hasselhoff's booth, there's a little code, and if you complete the Easter egg, put that code on the main menu, you can play as David Hasselhoff. You know, you've got all the little things to double Pack-a-Punch, or Pack-a-Punch the upgraded wonder weapons. Pack-a-Punch the upgraded wonder weapons? What? Pack-a-Punch the wonder weapons. You have just the small things, and even the things on the back of the Tough Nut packets, when it says, like, how close are you actually looking at this texture, like, aren't your teammates getting annoyed at you? I'll try and get a picture of it and put it up on screen, but it says something like, aren't your teammates annoyed at you? Shouldn't you be killing zombies instead of looking at textures? Do you not have anything better to do? Which is quite funny, and they've just changed everything. Like, they did Easter eggs the way it should have been done in Revelations. Just small Easter eggs, one big Easter egg, and like a fulfilling ending. We don't know if there's a cutscene or not, but we found ending cutscene dialogue from Willard Wyler, but the Easter eggs in Zombies in Spaceland are just they're just hidden, but they're hidden so you can find them, and they're not entirely cryptic like Jason Blundell used to make them. You know, Lee Ross has made some cryptic, but then given us some others, like, so you can get them at face value, which is really, really cool and really nice. Obviously, the wonder weapons, that's another good thing that is really good about this map that they've done. They've made you build your wonder weapons, but they've made it in an Easter egg kind of way. So, like, you need to get, 3 green coins from the Souvenir machine and put them in there, and you'll get a part or something like that. And then you have the trap with a dinosaur that has to close its mouth on a brute and its teeth shatter. It's logical. Like, Revelation should have been logical, and that's something that Zombies in Spaceland is. It's logical. You need to replace the teeth, break the teeth, and then put your replacements in. It's just really good, and I really like the way they went about Easter eggs, and that's how it should have been done in Revelations. And on the subject of wonder weapon, the sheer variety of things that the wonder weapons do are really cool. So you have the Discord and the Shredder and things like that, and they make it a bit more fun. So one of them, you shoot a zombie and it starts breakdancing and spinning, and it kills all zombies around it in an area. And another one, once you shoot it, its legs come off and it flies up into the air like a rocket and explodes. Like, that's really fun. That's what a wonder weapon should be. Something that you can look at and be like, wow, no other gun can do this. Like, you'd never think of a gun doing that. But that's what makes it a wonder weapon. So, you had things in, like, Grodd Crovey where it's like the Ray Gun Mark III, or just the Ray Gun in general, or the Wunderwaffe, which were like, yeah, no other gun can do this. But then you have other wonder weapons like the Thunder Gun that we've seen before, and the Apothicon Servant, that, admittedly, they're both good. They're both really good wonder weapons, but we've seen them before, and it didn't really add a wow factor to it. We didn't really want to strive to get them unless we were doing something like an Easter egg or high round strategies. We wouldn't want to strive to get them just to, like, wonder at them, to be like, wow, this is really fun to use. But the Discord and the Shredder and the Face Melter and whatever, they're fun to just have a laugh with. There's 4 of them, so each of your team can have one, and then you can each go and kill your zombies in your special ways, and you can actually turn around to your friends and be like, oh, look what mine does this, and it's really fun. It adds another sense of community to the game, because you can talk about your favourite one, you can talk about why and stuff like that. It's just really nice. So wonder weapon variety and the different effects that you can get for them, that's really, really nice. And this is why I really like Zombies in Spaceland, because it's just so different, like, aesthetically to Treyarch Zombies. Not so much gameplay wise, but just just in general, it's just such a fresh coat of paint for zombies. I really hope they take some of the stuff from Zombies in Spaceland and take it onto the next DLCs, like the playlists. I really hope they take like a DJ kind of thing through the maps and all these candy perks instead of just drinks. I think that's such a cool idea. So there are some things, I'll probably make another video on that about things I want to see carried over through the future DLCs of Zombies in Space, from Zombies in Spaceland. But that's another video for another day. But that's all the things that I think that Infinity Ward Zombies got perfect and just so good for this game mode. So thank you for watching my video, guys. I've been General Gerbil. I'm thinking of streaming some Zombies in Spaceland with my friends, and obviously maybe some games with subscribers, doing the Easter eggs if anyone's struggling with that, or because I haven't done it yet, so we can all go through the Easter egg together. I can get some subscribers on if you're interested in that and help them with the Easter egg. I'm also thinking of doing a 100 sub giveaway, so when I get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to be giving something away. If you're subscribed to me, if you like a video or something like that, probably some COD points or something like that on Black Ops 3, because we don't have them on Infinity Warfare yet. Infinite Warfare. And obviously, I want to know if you want to see some multiplayer videos, just me and my friends just messing about on multiplayer, whether that's Infinite Warfare multiplayer or COD 4 multiplayer, because obviously I've got both. So let me know in the description, in the comment section, what you'd want to see from me. But those are some of my ideas, and obviously the 100 sub giveaway. So if you have watched the whole video and you like it, please consider giving it a like, and please consider subscribing. Other than that, I've been General Gerbil. Peace out.